My name is Zeak Dartail, leader of Syndicate X, and I am the man who can defeat Superman, and it's time for me to do something a little different. Well, I've done it before as the other persona, and that's review YouTube Rewind 2019, though this year there isn't really much to review, now is there? You see, YouTube Rewind 2019 has decided to take the route of just having a top 10 list of various genres of YouTube all throughout the world. That's it. That was YouTube Rewind 2019. Now, granted, I will review both the good elements of that and the bad elements of that, because that's what a proper reviewer should at least attempt to do, I would hope. That, you would look for the good and the bad if it's possible. But with that being said, let's start with the things that are good about this. You see, this year, we don't have to have the obnoxious, very obvious cameos of non-YouTubers coming in and stealing the spotlight of people who were bred here, right here on YouTube. That, to me, is a minor plus, but it's a welcomed, oh, you actually are just focusing on YouTubers. That's nice for once. It really is, but that's about the extent of where the good to me actually dies. You see, this year's YouTube Rewind 2019 has made me realize something. You see, last year, a lot of people have that last year's 2018 was a trash fire, but after watching this year and it just being a list, I realized something. And it's something that has been indicative of YouTube since the start. YouTube is cringe-tube, and there is no denying that. It always has been, and for however long YouTube will last, that's how long cringe-tube will last, because it is the same goddamn thing. It is interwoven into our blood to have cringe on YouTube. It is interwoven in the very comments of that video of memes. We have integrated into that society now. That is where we live, that is where we breathe, and that is where we will die, likely. Unless we adapt and change even further. But I don't know. It feels like we're gonna go deeper into the rabbit hole, rather than trying to get out. So with that being said, for all the faults that YouTube 2018 had, it was actually relatively nice to see all the random stupid skits and all that nonsense, because it was actually YouTubers coming out, getting together, seeing each other, meeting each other for the first time maybe, and interacting with one another. My main issue, actually, with every YouTube Rewind since its inception is that they're all too short. They're all too short, regardless of what you think of them. There's not enough time. You get 5 seconds of a YouTuber you may recognize, and maybe there's 5 seconds of a YouTuber you don't recognize, and there's the joke of oh, I don't recognize that YouTuber, I'm not gonna even bother checking them out. But if they were given more time, I don't know if it would change anything, probably not, but you could at least see, you could test it, you could be like, what if we have Mr. Biggest YouTuber PewDiePie interact with one of the smallest channels that popped up this year? What if we have that for a change and actually have them interact, actually have each other say each other's names so you know which channel is which, and you know how big a channel is and how small a channel is by having them interact? How about that for a change? But no, YouTube would rather focus on what's big, what's popular, what was trending on the trending page this year. And to me, that simply ignores something that is at the core of YouTube, the community. We just throw that out the window throw the community out the window and just look at the facts, the numbers, and all of that stuff. And you just ignore everything else. And you also leave behind so many upcoming YouTubers by doing this. You ignore all of them. Where do they go? We don't get enough attention as it is. We don't even have a page for us to be featured on. Still. And I've been asking for that since 2015, since I have arrived on this platform. And it's 2019 and we still don't have that feature for everyone. Everyone should have access to see featured YouTubers that are new and upcoming. It's that simple, and it's a win-win for YouTube. I don't understand why we haven't had that yet, or why that was removed for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. Also, about things not making sense, let's talk about Copa. Because kids were featured on YouTube Rewind 2019. Kids! Actual kids! What the actual fuck? So YouTube gets to feature kids. How does that even work? How does that even make sense? I don't understand. I don't understand what the hell we're supposed to do. If YouTube's allowed to do that, then what the hell? What was the whole point of Copa? What was the point? Wasn't that the whole point of like, oh, you can't have kids on the thing, or, you know, some people would argue it was for the whole, like, you can't look up kids' information and all that, but did YouTube actually say that the YouTube Rewind was for kids? Question mark? Or did it say it was not for kids? Did it have to comply with Copa? I don't know. I don't know. I want the answer to that. That seems really important. Because YouTube was the one that was responsible for that whole mess in the first place. It seems a bit counterintuitive if you ask me. But what really got to me was a video I saw that came out after YouTube Rewind. And someone actually had the gall to say this. And I am paraphrasing, and I will show the video after the fact. Or a segment of that video, I should say. They actually had the gall to say, if you complain about YouTube, then just leave. Really? You know how many big YouTubers that do the whole YouTube knowledge thing have said that if you don't like the platform, just leave? Like, I want to say I can count up to 6 or 7 of them by now. And that to me is worse than Copa. It is. It's worse than Copa. Because you're telling people that if you don't like the platform, to leave. So stop making YouTube videos. That's the secret. That's the trick. That's your trick to make YouTubers stop. So that you don't have any threats. You don't have any competition. You don't have anything to work against. Stop that bullshit. Just stop saying that. No. Don't tell YouTubers to stop just because they don't like something in their platform. That's the equivalent of saying, oh, you didn't like a movie, then why'd you bother watching it? That makes no sense. You would have to had watched the movie to know whether or not it was good or not. And for YouTube, the whole, oh, if you don't like this platform, just leave argument doesn't make any sense either. Where do they go? Maybe they can go to Twitch. That's the actual only platform, maybe other than Mixer, question mark, that can provide something for YouTubers in the future, question mark. Again, I would be more comfortable but just saying Twitch. I don't know much about Mixer in that situation, but still, there are only 2 places, where people could actually go if they wanted to leave but continue to make content. And I'm someone who wants to continue to make content, and I can't even make Twitch videos, so I actually have nowhere else to go. And no, I don't want to just stop. But I have a right to complain if things aren't working. If a person is working a job, and if something is not working at that job, does that worker have no right to complain about that job? or should they just quit automatically? Because I don't know if that person knows, but looking for work is not exactly an easy thing to do. Finding a job outside of YouTube is not exactly easy where I live. It hasn't been easy for the past 5 years. It hasn't exactly been an easy feat. But for that person, I say to this, instead of saying to you as a response, you need to stop, you need to get off this platform. No. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say, get good. Actually make a challenging video. Actually go outside of your comfort zone. Actually do something a little bit different. You challenge the algorithm, bitch. You see, that to me is a much more oomph to it. It actually changes the status quo of what you do. So maybe, just maybe, we should try that. But 2019 is almost over, so we have to look to 2020 for that. And for what it's all worth, in 2020, the one thing I would want to happen, legit, absolute, just it happens, and people just go with it for the meme, is have a YouTuber who is small. It doesn't have to be me. I would be honored if it was me. I'm not gonna lie. But you pick a small YouTuber, and you start just tweeting about them. You share a few of their videos. You make them start to jump up in the ranks in 2020. And in that vein, you turn one of the smallest YouTubers in the world into one of the biggest. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be an indicative mark against the algorithm of YouTube? To finally show that the algorithm isn't about the numbers. And not in the way that I'm about to say, because it technically is. Because those numbers, they come from a place. They come from people. People make those numbers happen. We make those numbers happen. I said this before and I will say it again. YouTube did not make YouTube. YouTubers made YouTube. The community made YouTube. We, the people, made that happen. We made YouTube a success. So I don't know about that person who said those things that I will show at the end of this video, but maybe, just maybe, we can show YouTube what we can do. Maybe, just maybe, we can show and trick the algorithm because we control it. That's the secret. It has been the entire time. People control the numbers. We do that. We decide what we watch and what we don't watch. We do that. We decide we have that power. So we have the power to turn one of the smallest content creators into one of the biggest. And then that creator can share upon that wealth to all other smaller creators. And the word community can finally stop being a meme on YouTube. It can actually mean something again here on YouTube. It can actually be worth something here on YouTube again. Because quite frankly, I don't see enough bigger YouTubers doing it. I've seen them give to communities, which I absolutely adore. I wish I could do that, but I don't even have the money to make that happen. And I don't have the audience to make that happen. If I said I was donating to St. June's, which I would love to do, I wouldn't have the audience to do that. I don't have the capability of doing that and making an effective change. That's just the reality of how YouTube works. But we can change that. We have that power. We, the people, are the algorithm. And it's about time someone actually just said it. Because I'm tired of people saying just stop. It's time for the stopping to stop. It's time for things to change in 2020. Because YouTube can't save YouTube. It's impossible. YouTubers have to save YouTube. The community has to save YouTube because we made YouTube. And yes, I said it again and I'll say it again one more time. I think the biggest issue of all of the YouTube rewinds is that they're all too short. So I hope that 2020's YouTube rewind is like 30 minutes long, because I think it deserves to be that long. And I hope it goes back to being cringy. I really do. Because YouTube is cringe-tube. It always will be. It always has been. There'll always be some bizarre trend that happens. And it feels like just having a countdown misses out on all of that cringe. All of that weird stuff that happened this year. I'm sure that it's out there, but now we don't know. We don't know because YouTube decided not to show us any of that. It didn't decide to show us any of the memes. What the hell? How do we know what the memes are this year? I mean, maybe they carried over from last year, and that's pretty true consistently, I'm sure. But I mean, if there were any new memes, which there were, like Sans getting into Undertale this year, that was a meme in itself. So why wasn't that in YouTube Rewind this year? Oh, because it wasn't trending. It wasn't number 1 through 10. It didn't fit that status quo. So it couldn't even be featured. The people we lost along the way. You know, I didn't know Etika that well. I didn't even watch his videos, to be perfectly honest. Actually, I think I came across 1 or 2 of them, the reaction videos. But even if I were to be responsible for YouTube Rewind, I would at least show some dedication or something. Like, come on. Show the other people we lost along the way too. Because that's important. Who we lost along the way is just as important as who we got was new. I think that is well deserved. And you know, even if someone fucked up, maybe, just maybe, because YouTube gets their back anyways, why not just show them? Because YouTube just saves their skin anyways. And I'm talking about the Logan Pauls and the Jake Pauls and the people like that happened, you know, last year. When the fake Suicide Forest thing happened. You know, you still showed them. You still gave them a shot after the fact. So, you know, just saying. And also, I think someone also responded to one of those videos and said, oh, it's nice that this year that YouTube had some representation from outside the US. As if that was something new. Which I asked, no, was it ever really new? I'm pretty sure every year has been, oh, let's show at least someone from a different country, at least one. And it's grown since then, sure. So that's nothing new. So for 2020, the things I want for 2020 Rewind. 1, for it to be longer. 2, for it to feature big YouTubers and small YouTubers alike. And have them interact with one another, because that's important. 3, go back to the memes. Let's face it, YouTube is cringe-tube, and it's not gonna change, so go back to just doing it. 4, you know what, fuck it, bring the celebrities back. As upset I was at them for stealing the spotlight, I'm pretty sure you still want your sponsors, so get them through that way again, I don't really care. If you need your sponsors, fine, go get them with your celebrities, whatever. I don't care about that part. But what's more important to me is, again, that length. You gotta get that girth in there, gotta get that, you know, meaty substance about YouTube's interacting. You gotta get smaller YouTubers featured on there, because they're the ones who are gonna carry the torch. I don't know if YouTube knows this yet, and I don't know if the person who made that video knows this yet, But PewDiePie isn't gonna last forever, nor is T-Series, nor is Markiplier, nor is all of these super big YouTubers. They're not gonna last forever. They're not gonna remain on this platform forever. Things are gonna change eventually. And I don't know if YouTube is gonna survive that change, because it doesn't feature smaller YouTubers. How are those YouTubers gonna get any bigger? I don't know. I don't know. So, keep that in mind. Keep in mind that nothing does last forever. And that when we look back at the cringe, that's YouTube. And that to me speaks higher volumes than a video that's just a countdown. Because the countdown has ignored so much. In fact, I was going to think about it, and I was gonna go back to each YouTube Rewind, because I don't know, I was too lazy to do it. But I don't know if a movie reviewer has ever been featured on YouTube Rewind. I don't know if that's ever happened a single time. Has a YouTube Rewind ever featured a movie reviewer? A single one! I would love to know in my comments, and have a timestamp. Have proof that there was a movie reviewer in one of the YouTube Rewinds, and I'll be like, huh, I'll actually check that YouTuber out, maybe. Because I don't know if they were ever featured on YouTube Rewind, and I'd be a bit baffled if somebody got featured in YouTube Rewind. Granted, it might be someone I don't even like anymore, but I'd be like, at least movie reviewers are getting representation this year. That'd be nice. So yeah, some representation in that regard, if it hasn't happened yet, would be a nice change of pace as well. So I leave you off with that video, or that little segment. And just think about that. Just think about someone who actually says, if you don't like YouTube, just leave. And to that I say, just get good. Just get better. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep challenging yourself. Don't let the algorithm challenge you, because the algorithm is just people. That's all it is. It's all it is. It's keeping track of what people are watching. That's all it is. It's not complicated, and I hate people trying to complicate that shit. It's time to stop that shit. That's what we need to stop. It's people saying that the algorithm is complicated. It is not. It is people watching YouTube. Period. So, that's my challenge for YouTube Rewind 2020. Make it longer. Have it feature bigger and smaller YouTubers. I'm talking about YouTubers that have like 100 and less subscribers. Get them on YouTube Rewind. If it's not been featured yet, feature a movie reviewer. Have the YouTubers interact. Have the memes come back. Because they existed this year. Again, sans Undertale, where the fuck was that? Big question marks. The fuck? Where the fuck was Sans? I fucking hate Sans, and I wanted to see him in YouTube Rewind. How fucked up is that? I fucking hate Sans. I'm like, oh, Sans, I hate you. And he wasn't even featured. What the fuck? So yeah, the challenge for YouTube 2020 to do all of the three things I just suggested is on.
Whining about YouTube pandering to advertisers, I think at this point, for the sake of the content creators you love, get over it. Corporate money matters. Money matters. Monetization matters. They're working on stopping demonetization. Like, give YouTube a break. I feel like the dislikes are just people saying YouTube can do nothing right and we hate you, and my answer to that is get off the platform.
Never get off the platform of YouTube just because someone tells you to get off, no matter the before argument. You see, the video I just showed you was someone saying if you don't like the platform, then get off, and they mentioned all this stuff about the YouTube algorithm and the rules and stuff. Don't listen to that person on that subject. Don't just leave just because they are telling you to leave. Especially if you love making content on YouTube. Never, ever listen to that person on that subject, because they are trying to remove competition. It is them doing that. That is not YouTube. I said it before and I'll say it again. That is not good argumentation. Stop telling people to get off the platform to stop competition. It's not good. It never has been and it never will be. And I'm tired of these YouTubers saying it. It is never good to tell people to stop just because, no matter what the argument was beforehand. It's bad. It is a bad thing to do. And I've seen, like, again, 6 other YouTubers in various different ways say this exact same thing. And those people are the ones responsible. Probably even more responsible over Copa itself on getting people to stop making YouTube content. And it has to stop. That part has to stop. Because we have to bring that creativeness back. We have to do that. YouTube might have to play by all of the rules, as convoluted as they are. And this person actually says give YouTube a break. Now, I think I know what they're trying to say with that, and that YouTube has a lot to deal with. It's a very big platform. It has a lot of YouTubers on it. But there are still things it can do that can stop having a negative connotation to it. You know, get some good PR on YouTube for once. There are things it can do to do that. And I said what it could do to do that before, and I'll say it again. Just introduce a feature tab on the left-hand side to show off newer and smaller YouTubers, and you can have on the upper right-hand side, above all of the content, you can have all of the genres that you have, and you can distinctively find smaller YouTubers on a specific genre now if you do this. So it would be easier to find content for smaller creators and newer creators. And that would actually help YouTube. I'm not joking. That would help YouTube. It's so simple. It is so simple. And I'm tired of saying it. I'm so tired of saying the easiest solution. It's so easy. YouTube could fix so much of its issues by just doing this. If there were issues on a channel of like, oh, you're not following the rules, that channel, it'd be so much easier to find if you could actually find it. How about that? See? I can play by the rules even though I swear a lot, and I don't even know. I don't even know what the rules are anymore, because it's like, oh, you can't be safe for kids, but you can't swear. It creates this nebulous realm. That's the problem with YouTube. We all know it is. So we can't give YouTube a break on it. We can't. We can't ignore the problem. We cannot. It is there. It exists. It's right there. It's like saying, oh, there was a plot hole in this movie. Just ignore the plot hole. It's fine. It's fine. The movie's fine. Even if that plot hole is there, the movie is fine. No! Stop! It exists. It's there. We can see it. It's happening right in front of us. We can eyeball this shit. And if we can eyeball this shit, then we have every right to complain. Because we are the YouTube workers. We are the people who are making YouTube money. Don't get it twisted. We are responsible for that shit. We made YouTube. Again, I will say it again. We, the people, we are the YouTube algorithm. At the end of the day, no matter what way you try to twist it, we, the people, are the YouTube algorithm. It is that simple. And if you want to see something grow from something small, you have to dig really hard to find it. And that's my biggest issue right now, is it's so hard to find newer content creators. That's my biggest issue. And I have every right to complain about it.